has a specific wrestler, and that's a stone cold fact. Now, I don't have to play wrestler because I am one. I'm undefeated. I am the first and last MJF. You know what I'm not, though, ladies and gentlemen? I'm not a media analyst, and yet everybody wants to pretend to be because everybody wants to talk about ratings. And that's why we treat Dictator John so well, right? Because of his name value, right? Because where on earth would the numbers lie without Dictator John, right? Wrong. You know who on average happens to draw better numbers minute for minute than your Dictator John? Yours truly. Oh, you didn't know that, did you? That's because Dictator John doesn't want you to. See, according to Dictator John, I'm not on his level. Why should he have to deal with the likes of me? And to that I say, how dare you? AEW is meant to be the land of opportunity, and you've squandered that, and that is why it's time for a new guard around here. Because the old guard's been running the show on this planet for centuries, and look where it's gotten us, people. War, famine, disease. Our earth is dying and so are our morals, and yet here we are with Jon Moxley running the old guard, and our infrastructure is falling and falling fast. Well, I'm here to tell you people that I can catch this company, throw it on my back, and sprint this brand up the steep terrain to the very top, because my talent outweighs your tenure, John. I am AEW. I bleed black, white, and gold. I'm the guy who's gonna be leading this company for the next 25 years. Do the math and grab a calculator. And that is why I'm making a promise to you that I will not stop until we go from happily glad-handing each other for being the alternative and transform this brand into the pinnacle of professional wrestling.
We are back, All Elite family, for another exciting edition of the All Elite podcast. As always, I'm your host, All Elite Andy, joined by my wonderful co-host, Big Match AJ, Philip Domino, and Phil's girlfriend, Kira. How are we doing, everybody? What'd you guys think of Dynamite?
I didn't hate it, but it wasn't particularly good or anything.
Jesus, the pessimism starts. We are, 30 seconds into the actual show.
You knew it was going to happen.
The pessimism has already begun. AJ is half asleep.
Oh, if you think it's me, it's going to be Phil. Not half asleep, but definitely the pessimist.
I liked it. I don't think it was the worst one ever. I don't think it was bad. It wasn't a great one.
It was tough good. Coming off of last week's show, which I think we all were kind of, well, maybe not all of us. Kira kind of has optimism for every show, but we didn't have so much optimism for last week's show going into it, and then it turned out to be really good. On the other hand of things, this week's show, we all kind of were excited for it, thought that there could be some exciting things, and it's not to say it wasn't exciting and didn't have its moments, but it didn't hit, I guess, as well as we had expected, based upon our own predetermined hype, especially for Phil. Phil was calling this the worst show of all time, the worst Dynamite.
Up until 9:30 Eastern, I said this was the worst episode of Dynamite I've ever seen. Maybe that was a little harsh. Maybe that's just me being pessimistic. I haven't been really too overly pessimistic in the past few weeks, so I feel like tonight it all came to head, man. Everything pissed me off, and I don't know why. Like Kira said, nothing was really awful. Nothing was insulting. I just was so mad about so many things.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't see how you could be mad at so many things. I wasn't really mad. I was like,
well, if you all right, well, I'll explain it to you as we go through and break it down segment by segment. I'll tell you why everything up till 9:30 sucked,
and I'll tell you why.
I thought it wasn't bad.
This is going to be an exciting podcast.
We opened up the show in a weird way. I was a little bit late to everything, so I didn't see the actual open, but I was surprised to see this match be the opening match of the show. We have the Best Friends and Orange Cassidy. What was it? Orange Cassidy, the Best Friends in the Jurassic Express against the Inner Circle. So
yep.
It was a huge clusterfuck, as AJ wanted to call it, and akin to a Joey Janela clusterfuck, akin to some of the early battle royals we saw from AEW. There was just a lot going on, but we didn't really know what was going on, and it was all so hectic. So yeah, it was weird to come into Dynamite with that being what was going on, but it was fine. I mean, and they're doing another large multi-man match next week, so maybe they'll get it right then. But this wasn't horrible.
it wasn't like terrible or offensive. I just like I
No,
said,
you
it was
called it a
clusterfuck.
clusterfuck. That sounds terrible and offensive. You have to die on that hill.
No, it's not terrible and offensive. A clusterfuck can be fun, but like, and it had its moments. But
I didn't love the
overall, it was like
finish. Matt
disjointed
Hardy
and
getting
confused.
involved randomly.
I didn't like that either.
Shoving Sammy Guevara off the top rope as it's very heelish of him. Undeniable at that. It was weird. I didn't love that. I thought that was kind of whack. I like Sammy a lot. So I thought Matt being in AEW was going to be cool and fun. And I really just haven't liked a single thing he's done in AEW so far. Like he's been involved in some cool stuff, and that's a lie. Some of the stuff he's done has been fun, but it's just been segments of matches and stuff. Really, his overall tenure in AEW has been lackluster. So
Yeah.
and,
It has, and I think he talked about that recently, saying that as
it was
much.
funny. It was
that,
funny. Right after our podcast, I read that because last week Phil had mentioned that Matt had actually talked about how he was enjoying his position and what he was doing, and he had done some interviews saying that. But then he recently did some new interviews, like last week, saying how he wasn't fond of what he was doing and kind of wanted to just transition into just being Matt Hardy, not being the broken character. So we got the first taste of that this week. And it was a bit off, but it was okay. You obviously see they're doing a story here for Matt and Sammy, and it's gonna get Sammy over in the long run, so that is beneficial. But right here, the beginning stages of it were kind of clunky.
Yeah, I agree. I also. Oh no! Wait, what did you say?
I said that it was a clunky match, but it wasn't bad.
the Matt Hardy thing. I was just telling Phil yesterday. Like, I don't get why he's got these 3 characters that he can just, on his own will, trade up between each characteristic. I don't really believe it, I guess. So I hope that he does follow through with that. Like, just like. I understand maybe in the beginning it was cool for like people who watched Matt Hardy in different shows where he had different characters, but I think now that he's on a different show, he should come up with a new character, because
or at least use one of the ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't consistently recycle through the ones that you liked because and it made sense when he talked about it in the interview. He said because of coronavirus and everything, they kind of changed up what they were going to do with him, and they just decided to give fans like a taste of every bit. And it worked with some of the segments that they had going on in the weird matches, but to have continued it outside of the realm of the Stadium Stampede matches where it really got like corny to me, and I was like, why are you still doing this? It was fun at first, but now it's kind of like silly. So for him to transition just wanting to be Matt, it's interesting. But for the beginning, like I said, for this beginning part of him being Matt, I don't love it. Him just randomly shoving Sammy off. Like, is Matt like just a weirdo? Is that like him and like that's what Matt Hardy is?
Oh no, Kira, that was on Dark.
Oh.
He brought back Big Money Matt, which I think he did in ROH. I can't remember.
So
what
he's still shuffling through the gimmicks. Then that's what I don't understand.
Okay, so I bet that was like a pre-taped Dark, because Dark isn't like live or anything. It was weird. He did a backstage segment with Private Party before that 3-team match, that big cluster match at the main event. He was Big Money Matt. He's throwing around $100 bills. Private Party called him a dickhead.
Yeah, they did.
Whatever. I guess he followed through with being a dickhead tonight. He shoved Sammy off the top rope for no reason. They are building up the storyline like he sees Sammy as like the next big thing, and he's going down the wrong path, and he could be like an upstanding citizen, and blah,
so
blah,
this
blah.
is how he does it, is by costing him a match for literally no reason.
Over his career, like an
guess.
asshole.
I don't know.
Yeah, like
this match was totally fine, like you guys were saying. Of course, it's a 10-man match, so it's gonna be a clusterfuck. Everybody got their stuff in. Orange Cassidy did a cool little thing where he pretended he was gonna dive, and then he pulled out sunglasses, and they all hugged. Blah, blah, blah. Man, Luchasaurus almost lost his mask.
Yeah, that was rough, man.
It's notable because not only did he almost lose his mask, he could not put the fucking thing back on for the life of him. He struggled with it for like 45 seconds. Somebody else had to run into the ring and take away from it, and it was still so distracting. You just had to watch this man struggle to put on his mask. It was the most notable thing from this match.
I mean, I guess that kind of gives something to
It was
talk about,
not
at
the
least.
most
Like,
notable thing from this match. Matt
was the
Hardy
most
got
notable-
involved and
No.
cost Sammy the
I
match.
kind of forget about it until you mentioned
Well,
it.
maybe
Yeah,
I did,
it was
just
very
because I just,
forgettable, but
I just
I understand your problem with it for sure. And now that you bring it up, I remember. But yeah, I don't know. The Sammy part really threw me off. Matt Hardy being Matt Hardy, and I would have rather him just been Money Matt, like, and been a heel character throughout all of this. Like, he didn't have to do the broken thing and go into all that. Like, so I just don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do with Matt. I hope it gets
Yeah.
better. I really have always been a fan of Matt Hardy. This is probably really one of the first times I've not been a fan of what he's got going on, because this is just so all over the place and just not good. It's going downhill
Yeah,
fast.
I thought that he was supposed to be like this guy with these multiple personalities, but they just took over like an actual person. I don't know if that's the case with all of them, but like I didn't know he could just switch willingly. I think that's
Yeah,
weird. I don't know.
that it just kind of takes it.
They're like, oh, can we have this one? He's like, you bet. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm Moneymaker Matt now. It's like, oh,
Exactly.
okay.
big money.
Big money.
Moneymaker Matt. After that match, we got Jon Moxley cutting a decent little promo, talking about his issue. He thought his issue with Cage was settled until Cage attacked Darby, got Ricky Starks involved, 2-on-1, blah, 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 blah. Mox got involved. This was a decent promo, but Mox, I'm still waiting for that Mox promo, you know what I mean? And obviously, this isn't the story for it. He just has to say something, so they're going to say something really quick. But, yeah, this was fine.
I hear what you mean though about waiting for the Mox promo. Like, we really haven't gotten to his whole run in AEW.
The closest
we were
thing
getting
was
close
the
there
paradigm
with Kenny.
shift, and yeah, with Kenny. But
But like after that, it really
the
felt
best
like
promos
we were
in that
just
came
straying
from
far away
Kenny,
from
though.
it.
You know.
Yeah, that's true. And really, it kind of sucks because you know how good he is on the mic, and he just really hasn't been flexing that.
Yes. So again, that's why it's weird to talk about a promo like this, because it wasn't bad. It's not like he did anything awful, but you know what Mox is capable of, so you're just like, yep, this is another promo. That's why I just run through it so quickly. I probably sound like I don't give a fuck about it. It's not like even that. It's just like, it was a nothing Mox promo.
Yeah, it
It's
was
like
fine.
Same old. I mean, I don't know. I feel like the last couple promos that he's done is the same thing. He's standing in front of the camera, like the same distance away, and just saying shit like, "Oh, I'm gonna beat you," like in the next match, or
And
whatever.
just
Like,
not
you
even
think
that aggressively either. He's kind of, it's for
Yeah.
Mox, it's kind of nonchalant, like, yeah, I'm gonna kick your ass, whatever. Not even.
Yeah,
like,
I have thoughts on this, and it's kind of gonna bleed into the next segment that comes after this. So I hope that's all right. I feel like the reason why these Mox promos aren't so impactful is because we see Mox basically every week. He either has a match or he's talking, and he's kind of a character that you don't need to put on TV every week to remind people of his character and what he's up to. It really would benefit other characters, namely, you know, somebody like a challenger for the TNT title that most people have never heard of before, to give them some kind of little fucking, just a little something to make you care about it. Because if you don't know who, imagine if they brought in Eddie Kingston last week and he just comes out.
That's what
"Hey, it's
happened.
Eddie Kingston, 19-year veteran, and he
No,
doesn't say
it's not.
anything.
He said
It would
he
suck.
promoted on him.
But man, not just the Warhorse thing. It's just like any of these little characters that don't get a lot of like time to develop their character, like Anna Jay. You know, she like was off TV for 4 weeks, comes back, she's in the Dark Order. Like, if you don't care about her and you don't, you know, you tune in for like the stars. Maybe you remember, maybe you don't. You know, you don't really know what's going on there. Just like these lower card guys who don't really get TV time would really benefit from the spot you give to the people who show up every week.
I do
just
agree,
seems
but
like the
at the
same
same time, it's
over
kind
and
of
over
crazy to think about. Like, you'd rather hear a Warhorse promo over a Mox promo. Like,
Dude, I would rather hear from people whose characters I don't care about because maybe it gives me a reason to care
I think
about
that
them.
those
Yeah,
I think that those characters need more like hype promo packages, not just like your typical backstage promo. But I do agree with you.
Anything, anything dedicated to fleshing out their
Mhm.
characters. It doesn't have to be a one.
Especially
Somebody
at this
talking
point
to
with
it.
the Moxley promo, essentially, like I said, it's been the same promo for like a month now because it's just been
Yeah.
shit on Brian Cage a little bit, say a couple like snarky things, and then just keep it going, which is fine. Like I said, they're totally fine and serviceable. But you are right; we should be getting more promo packages or just anything for some of these people. You mentioned Warhorse; he's the next match. Cody beating Warhorse in just about 11 minutes. Cody was on social media saying Warhorse wouldn't even last 5 minutes with him. Cody, you were wrong. Warhorse ruled your ass for 10 minutes and 54 seconds. This was fun. I like that Warhorse got some time here, but it really wasn't. It was funny just to see Cody kind of play this dickhead guy who doesn't really want to do this match. He's been playing the character on social media all week. Like, I know you guys didn't love it, but I'm not saying I loved it, but it was interesting to see Cody play this character because it makes sense in a realistic way. Cody not wanting to fight someone like Warhorse, not someone he doesn't take seriously as a competitor. But it is also weird because Cody is so nice to a majority of everyone that he encounters. So for him to randomly act like this is just strange to me. But like it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. But Phil, you had some strong feelings about this. But we'll let AJ speak
Dude,
first.
I'm so tired of
Okay. But I have not really seen Warhorse, and for all the reasons Phil said, I really didn't care about him. And like if I had followed him on social media or something or saw a promo, I'm sure I would be really hyped for this match.
We
but I
do follow
wasn't.
him on
I thought he
social
did good.
media, AJ. We have a whole
Oh
podcast that
well.
follows him, brother.
If
I
if
feel
I
you. I
personally
feel you.
took the effort to look at him, then maybe I would care more. But I thought he was good. I didn't think he was bad. If they signed him, I wouldn't be pissed off or anything. Like he seemed like he's really competent in the ring. The match was solid. But other than that, I just thought Cody's gonna win. Of course, Cody's gonna win. If Eddie Kingston promoted on him like a motherfucker, and then we had a great like hardcore match with him and didn't win the title, this guy is not gonna win the title with no promo and no hype.
no.
You didn't know that.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I think of the whole thing of promos and stuff, but I thought maybe they could just do something different. But
No,
I guess
never.
they're just gonna keep prolonging losing the TNT title. I hope they change their mind.
It's just frustrating that it feels like every episode of AEW Dynamite is the same shit. You already know who's going to win, no matter how much they want to hype it up to be something different. When the moment finally comes, there's always a feeling like, oh man, I already know who's going to win this. Like last week, I was super
But that's
excited
why
to
I didn't
see-
look at this match in terms of like, oh man, is Warhorse gonna
Oh,
win?
no,
it
I
was
did
it was
not-
fun. It was like just a fun little. Even the match itself was a fun little story. Like the dude was, Cody
I had no
wasn't taking
problems
him
with the match
serious.
itself.
And he was still like able to reverse shit like really quickly. Like him reversing the figure four, I didn't love how he did it so quickly, but I also understood the story. Like Cody's not taking him seriously, he's sort of undermining this guy, and lo and behold, this guy is able to like reverse his shit really quick and easy. You know what I mean? So
Talking about the
Yeah.
figure four.
yeah, when
that
he
he
quickly
ultimately
when
tapped out to.
well, yes, which he all, and that's kind of a story in and of itself. And he sold the knee for it throughout the match. And like I said, I wasn't looking for Warhorse to win, but the fact they're telling
No.
the story of this guy, and they hyped him up a good amount. Like I don't know his win-loss record on the indie scene, but they were like, oh, he's won so much on the indies. I'm like, bullshit, but whatever. And so they in their
Fucking
words
lie.
they built him up, and it was an interesting, like I said, an interesting story for him to one up Cody a couple of times, despite the fact that Cody didn't take him very seriously. So Warhorse is my guy.
I think it does. Yeah, I think it does prove that Cody should have maybe taken him seriously, even though I guess he still won. But I think Warhorse did a really good job. It
I
was
had no-
entertaining for me. I knew that
But
he
I
wasn't gonna
do,
win.
I agree 100% with your gripe of what happened after the match, Phil. We have the Dark Order run down to attack Cody.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
they just sort of, like, Warhorse goes to make the save, and I was like, oh, this is fun. Like, he's going to be a real character, and he's going to make a save. And no, of course not.
And then he just
He just gets
Yeah, I
shoved
guess-
off, and, well, Matt Cardona makes his debut.
Be seen
I want to
again.
know what Kira thought of our boy Matt Cardona.
Yeah, Kira, what is your thoughts on this man who showed up?
I didn't know who it was, and and okay, so I did like how Warhorse protected Cody, like pushed him out of the way. So like maybe there's a story there, but they're obviously not gonna get into that anytime soon because they immediately go to this new guy who beats them all up. And I thought it was pretty cool, but I mean, I figured it was some cool. I've just like figured at this point now it's just some cool old guy that they're
That's
bringing
right.
here.
He is an old man at this point.
Not old,
If
is
you,
an old.
no,
boy.
he is an old man, Kira. If you had told me in 2012 that Zack Ryder was going to leave the WWE and he was going to go to the new upstart promotion and he was
I would
a
actually
prominent
believe
figure,
that.
I would have been
I would
hyped.
believe- yeah.
That was 8 years ago.
I was gonna say.
I don't
Yeah,
care.
I don't know. That doesn't seem that outlandish, but anyways.
It was kind of.
The weirdest thing for me with this shit was the Dark Order.
Yeah,
Like-
and it doesn't lead anywhere because logically,
No, they're
leading
just
off
fighting the
segments
jobber
from-
part of the Dark Order right now.
Yeah. Yeah, like why
Yeah.
does the Dark Order care about Cody and Warhorse to begin with?
They don't. They just needed
and
somebody to run out.
yeah, they just
Because they're,
threw
like,
somebody
jealous
at
of
them.
losing, and Cody went
They
like.
hadn't lost at that point.
That's
though.
true. So I don't even.
They ran out the fuck of it.
I like Matt Cardona. I thought it was weird though. I'm not gonna pretend it was like a good ass
It was
segment.
awful.
but
Actually,
I do like
it was
seeing-
really terrible.
it was bad.
We're so.
but I do like
pessimistic.
seeing Matt Cardona.
But like
I just
this
don't
part
understand
really
where all
killed me.
these
This part was
are-
something I really
don't
didn't like, man.
But like also I'm kind of upset at it because like you could have debuted him way better.
Yeah. I don't know.
Nah,
I don't think this guy like. I am not meant to be as
You could have debuted him as a challenger for Cody.
no,
even.
well,
feel
yes,
like
but
that's
maybe his
every-
name shouldn't suck.
Old guy from the past.
Like
I never know who they are. They just
I don't
show
mind him
up
using his real
to
name.
save everybody, and I'm like, oh, who's that?
And the
and
commentary
then-
is freaking out. Oh my god,
Yeah,
it's Matt
and you're like-
Cardona. I didn't even know Zack Ryder's real name until they said it. Like
Well,
I'm
it
sure
should just
I've
be
heard it.
Yeah,
Jack
biased
because
'cause
he's
they
just
did.
another guy.
And he's using his
He
real
does.
name.
He
What a
does
loser.
stand out in terms of like he's built. He's like a bigger guy than a lot of the roster. So
Yeah.
that is one thing I gave him. But he came out and did the same shtick. He did the LI thing. Like he was literally Zack Ryder
Dude,
with a
he's already
new
got a
name.
T-shirt. I don't know if you saw
like
it.
Long Island.
Yeah, he's already got a
That's
T-shirt,
what
and
that
it's
was?
like Li Strong or some
Mm-hmm.
shit.
I thought he was just holding up the number
No,
3.
no,
He's number 3, not 1 or 2.
You should really love him. You should love him. All right, I
She will in like a
I feel
week or
like at
two.
this
Watch,
point-
she's gonna be a huge Matt Cardona fan.
I feel
Yeah,
like
me and Kira, the
they-
Matt Cardona fans.
They
I mean, I do love
desperately
He's so
need at
hunky.
this point. They need at this point a second show, man. There's so many people
They
on
have
this
a
roster
second
now.
show, and you're the only one who watches it.
No, that's not the second show. That's
What?
a piece of garbage.
Well, they are getting a second
was
show, but obviously
pre-COVID.
not anytime soon. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, there's so many mid-card guys who are just kind of hanging around, and after this little Matt Cardona thing where he debuts and he has this little shine in the light for 3 weeks, where's he going to be? He's going to be right where Matt Hardy is, showing up randomly, fucking being everybody's little friend, like he's going to be everybody's little buddy.
He's a jobber to
Like,
the
there's-
stars. He's gonna put over MJF for a long time.
It would. I mean, it would really make sense because there are a lot of heel characters who lose to face characters and build their characters. There's not a lot of face characters who get beaten up on a weekly basis and
Yeah,
put over
Jungle
people
Boy.
Like, who?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
he
it.
won this week, man. He won this
So-
week.
Is he a face character? Is that
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. This was whatever. My biggest issue is that Ryder comes out, or Matt Cardona. I'm gonna have to call. I don't want to call him Matt Cardona because he's just the same character. He's still just Zack Ryder. There's nothing different about him at all. It's just the same guy. He came out, did the same type of moves, did his same little taunt, like everything. There's nothing.
Dude, I hope he comes out to his
He's
old
extra.
theme. That'd be
He's
great.
extra tanned. He's not coming out to his old theme. He already posted what his new theme is, and it sucks. So he's got that going for him. Shout out to Downstate for the shitty Matt Cardona theme.
Oh
Really
no!
appreciate it.
I feel like since I didn't know his old shit,
Yeah, you
that
probably
I'm
will
fine.
like it. I'm telling you, you're gonna be a Matt Cardona fan, and I hope that I can be again because I really used to like the Zack Ryder character, but I can't. I just don't like. I don't know. If you're gonna be the same character, then be Matt Ryder. If you're gonna be the exact same guy, don't change your name so drastically and act like, because he did interviews and shit saying like I'm gonna be a whole different guy, and then you came out as the same fucking guy, just in jeans.
Huh.
So I don't know. We'll give it time, but them facing the Dark Order next week doesn't make me any more hyped up. So we'll get to that.
Did you guys know that Warhorse weighs 4,000 pounds of heavy metal?
Yeah, dude.
Oh man.
Heavy metal. Shout out to
I thought
Warhorse.
that
I'm glad
was
we're
funny.
ending this segment on Warhorse. That's how it should be. Let's the next segment, Tony Schiavone is here to talk about All Out, but gets cut off immediately. Chris Jericho and the Inner Circle interrupt them. Jericho's furious. Sammy says that Matt Hardy cost him the win. This is immediately when I tweeted out that Matt Hardy was a stupid idiot. Jericho says there will be a rematch with Jericho and Cassidy in a couple weeks, and then on August 5th there's going to be an Orange Cassidy Chris Jericho debate. I don't even understand how this can be a thing, but it'll probably be entertaining because it's Jericho and OC. But on paper it sounds like ridiculous.
Stupid.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm really mad that he's still wearing that.
Didn't he say it's like a $5,000 coat, Kira? Some people don't just
I
have
don't
the
know.
money.
7,000.
You can't throw that money away. Kira's so bougie.
It just looks like.
Just throw away that $7,000 coat, Chris.
It looks even worse now, a day after, like a week
day
after. I don't know. Like he poured more of it on. I don't know.
That would be great. Every week they're just adding more orange juice to the
Yeah,
coat.
that actually would be great. Till it's orange.
Maybe he should just dye it orange and then it would be.
Are you
fine.
hyped for the debate, Phil, or what? What are your thoughts?
No.
Who do you guys think the special
Oh
moderator
yeah, that's
will
right.
be?
Chavo Guerrero.
Tyson.
Mike Tyson.
Chavo Guerrero.
Can you say that you thought that they lost Mike Tyson?
They
because
did
Joe
lost
Biden.
Mike Tyson. He's gonna fight some
Joe Biden.
doctor man.
What?
That'll bring him up.
I have no opinion on who it's gonna be. It's probably gonna be
Hillary
somebody
Clinton.
stupid,
Like Siobhan?
like Tully
Maybe
Blanchard
Virgil.
or something.
Do you think
Virgil.
it'll be
That
anybody
would be
in the
crazy.
show? Like one
Tony
of our announcers that we
Schiavone.
have?
Dude, it'll probably be some fucking.
Tony
1970s
Khan. Wow, this is the first time I got their
What
names
if it
mixed
was?
up that
What if
way.
it was like the Iron Sheik or something though? You'd be excited then.
That would be great.
Make him humble.
What if it's John Cena?
Okay, that would
to
be
answer your
crazy.
question,
I would be interested.
No, I'm not looking forward to it because unless Orange Cassidy finally speaks, it's gonna be.
I don't know if I want him
He
to
speaks.
speak.
Right?
He spoke on a shot of brandy, Kira. He's never spoken on television.
shouldn't.
He's spoken.
He might have
Didn't
said
he
like
speak
cool
sometimes
once
with
or
the
something.
cameraman?
No, he speaks
No.
in sign language. He goes up and down and
That's-
sideways and fucking.
That's
Throws up the
at
shot
least
for
you
every
know
now.
exactly what the debate segment's gonna be right now. We could do it. It's just ask a question, thumbs up. Ask another question, thumbs down. That's it. And then Jericho's gonna fucking punch him in the head with some oranges. So
Definitely getting up to
He talked
this.
on being the elite. I remember that.
Juice might be there too.
Nobody watches Being the Elite. What
You're
is
right.
this, last year? Nobody watches that.
Oh, did
Wow.
did
No, we
AJ
used to watch it last year. I don't
big
even
time
remember
fans.
why.
AJ was the last rider. He stayed through to
Yeah,
the
it
very
sure
end.
was.
But yeah, being the elite, if you're a fan of it, I get it, but it's not for us. That's all I could say about being the elite at this point. After this, we cut to the contract signing for FTR. This was actually a pretty fun segment. It wasn't very long, but they talked about how they're going to do a tag team appreciation night hosted by FTR. The fun part was Hangman comes in to toast with them, so it's cool just to see this budding friendship between these guys that you had no idea were really friends. And they come in and toast to each other and take a shot and all that. And Hangman had a ridiculously huge shot of whiskey and did his best to drink like half of it. But
Dude, I liked how they he drank it and stopped drinking, and on camera they kept it in. And they were like, "Nah, do more," and he drank more.
he's a real man.
That was funny.
They cut the
They
scene
peer
before he
pressured his
finished it.
ass.
This was a fun segment. This was actually really entertaining.
Dude, I only had one problem with this segment.
What?
Of course you
You
had
had a problem with this
of
segment?
course you
I
had a
don't
problem with this
know.
segment.
My problem with this segment is why is Arn Anderson there?
Dude, what do you mean? That's cool.
Who
It's
cares,
building
man?
like
It's not
he's a tag
Why
team
does Arn
legend.
Anderson have to have 500 different
He's a
roles?
tag team
He's not that
legend.
interesting of a character. I don't want to see him on my TV for a half hour and a 2-hour show.
That's a good spine buster. It's fine.
Not anymore. He's only got 4 or 5 left in him, he said.
70 years old.
See, I thought this scene was boring.
Wow,
like, okay.
that's crazy.
signed
Wow,
up-
this is the biggest pessimist of all.
They just signed a contract.
They
I mean,
said
like
the
the end was
Mid-Atlantic
cute. That
boys
they, like,
ride again.
had it for some reason, but it was like
It was totally fine. I just don't know why Arn Anderson was there. Is it going to be like when Tully they kept cutting to Tully 2 weeks ago, and it never led anywhere, and it just was a
A
waste
lot of
of time,
stuff
and nobody
never
cared.
leads anywhere, bro.
They-
And that was because
detail-
Tessa's gonna debut on Monday.
Who?
Tessa, his daughter,
I don't know.
Tessa Blanchard, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Really?
I know.
No,
who
you
that
just
is,
said
but
she didn't, and the listener's gonna be like, "This fucking Mark." So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I just liked the fact of the shot. Honestly, that was my big takeaway, was that Hangman taking a gigantic shot was awesome.
yeah, that was cool. I think Arn didn't want his or
Nah,
something. and
he
poured
pushed
it-
out. That's Phil's biggest problem. Phil,
Oh
the
yeah,
resident.
the
resident podcast alcoholic is just mad that Arn Anderson wasn't trying to take shots. So
I haven't taken a drink on the podcast
all
day.
day,
You know you want me to?
brother. Maybe,
Here we go.
Yeah, you should. You're our resident. Anytime we talk about Hangman, Phil's got a chug. So
I toasted during this fucking segment. I see a bunch of other alcoholics drink. I drink. Whatever.
dude, I
That's
feel you.
awesome, too.
After this, we get a replay of Hangman's encounter last week with the Dark Order. Colt Cabana comes out to join commentary. And then we get Hangman and Kenny facing the Dark Order. This went 14 minutes. 14 minutes of me not really believing at all that the Dark Order would win, despite the fact that last week I thought they could, because of you guys, my friends, you know. Y'all just sold me on the fact that
I like this match.
I didn't say I didn't
This
like
match-
it. I just didn't really believe they were gonna win. Especially like Phil said, the placement of the time, like the time. It was the top of the hour.
Yeah.
You knew nothing crazy was going to happen. So because of that, you knew that they probably weren't gonna lose.
Yeah, but I enjoyed the match itself. I thought it was actually really well done. Everybody did a good job, and everybody was on point. So I actually got something out of this. But yeah, I knew who was going to win, so I couldn't be that invested into it. But like, I don't know, like all the matches on this card, really, except for like one, it wasn't bad, but I just didn't care.
I don't know why they had Anna Jay there when they barely showed her, and when
Yeah, they didn't even
when
show
they
her on
did,
camera.
she was like halfway cut out of the camera, or she was completely blocked by what is his name?
I did not see that woman once.
Yeah.
She was there.
She was there.
And like it was because Brody was literally standing right in front of her in every camera angle she was in. And at one time when they showed like this the frame of the wrestling mat, you see like half of her like just walking.
Oh, okay.
Dude, it was funny. She was wearing a mask. She totally looked like the bunny. She might as well be the same character.
Not
That's
really.
fucked.
I think it was it a bunny mask? It wasn't a bunny.
It was
mask.
just a stupid little mask that went over her eyes, just like the bunny
Yeah,
had.
I don't know. This wasn't, like I said, it wasn't a bad
And
match.
the only way you would know if she's there if you even heard I think it was Tony that like said, "Oh, and Anna Jay is here," and they were like, "Oh." And how did I?
What do you guys think of the post-match stuff? Because
The,
I'm kind of like.
Wait. I gotta.
I'm sorry.
Match. It was totally
Okay.
fine. Like Andrew, I really liked this match in theory, and then where I saw it was placed in the card, I knew nothing exciting was gonna happen.
he really thought that Dark Order was gonna win.
I was actually hyped for like the first 2 minutes, and then I just kind of came to my senses of what was going on.
It was more than 2 minutes. He thought the whole
Dude,
match was like,
this is
no,
the-
I want them to win.
I did want them to win. I want something different and interesting to happen, and they just blow through all the contenders in the tag team division. And I get it. They're not a long-term tag team, so if they beat everybody, it doesn't really matter. It does a little bit. The Dark Order hadn't lost in a long-ass time. They have like 0 losses on this year. Who's gonna be the team to take the titles away from them? It's gonna have to be the
FTR.
FTR, them, and the Young Bucks.
Mhm.
And everybody else is just cannon fodder for those 3 teams.
The
little bit.
initiative.
No,
There you go.
Shut
Yeah.
up. Nobody knows who that is. Nobody watches Dark. No one
They
knows who
showed
that is.
the result on the bottom of the screen. I saw it. The
And you knew who
initiative.
the initiative
They
was,
put
did
their
they have
name next to it. Peter Avalon and what's his nuts. So yeah.
And don't even know
Brandon
his name,
Cutler.
because he stubbed us.
So yeah, I don't know. I didn't love the post match shenanigans here, but I mean it all is just. It was part of the
What
the whole.
happened
It was part of the show that kind of just fell apart for me. This was when you were complaining about how they can't do anything new, because they just kept sending out the Dark Order. This was like a regular Dark Order segment. Literally, that's all it felt like. Was like a combination of many Dark Order segments we've seen and that FTR segment we saw the other week where they just came out and smashed someone with the thing of ice.
Yeah.
They did it was the exact same thing. Just the two segments merged together and that was it. So to me it was weird. And then it was weird to transition from this to a Britt Baker promo like seamlessly, but not seamlessly. Like it was very strange. She was still sitting. We were still in the arena. She was sitting on. And I get it. This is how they've done her segments before, but it doesn't make it any less weird. Like it was very strange to go from Kenny Omega standing in the ring, knowing he hasn't really left the ringside area yet, and then Britt Baker's talking. So.
Wait, before we go into that, did anyone notice that Cole Cabana said, like, to one of the announcers, that he's not in the Dark Order? They asked him if he's in the Dark Order. He said, "No, I'm just hanging out." Like, isn't that kind of weird?
It is, but he was really into the Dark Order throughout the whole. I liked his commentary and stuff, and then Brody pulling him and sending him to the back again, and sending Anna Jay to the back. I liked all of that, but
I like that too.
It was weird, man. It was like Brody is protecting his son.
His soul.
From,
he
like,
can't see the sick stuff.
Something. I don't know. Like, what's
He doesn't
going
want
on.
him to see the evil. So.
Dude, yeah, and then Brody starts fucking. I thought he was gonna turn on the original Dark Order. He starts
threw
like
the papers at him.
Yeah.
I kind of thought for that for a second too.
And everybody on commentary was confused
And
by it. Like,
they just took it. They're like, why?
They're 9-1.
I thought that too, though. That was my exact thought. I was like, they're undefeated. This is their first loss, and you're just gonna beat the shit out of them. Like, what was the point in building them up?
They all can't seal the deal.
But apparently Britt like passes notes to Tony during the show, and I guess he like decides like which note. Like, do you think she really said? Do you really think in like actual life she sent notes? And then at one point they're just like, okay, this is a good one. Let's talk about this one.
Yeah, but that's why it took so long, because it takes her a long time to write a good one.
Yeah, maybe.
It was like the end of the show, so yeah, I think so.
I thought she was gonna announce who she was gonna. Was this when she was gonna? She wants to pick an opponent.
Yeah, this is when they stole our storyline idea after us preaching it for a month and a half.
I feel like this episode they were like listening to us last week's episode or something. Cause
they do.
But she didn't say Reba though, so I don't know.
Because it is gonna be Reba.
Yeah, it's gotta be a
surprise. Reba being all happy and excited. Oh my God, Britt, you're so
or it could
amazing.
just. I think it could easily be just a new woman because they do have to bring new women faces into.
Yeah, bro, Tessa Blanchard.
Some random person
No, they're not gonna bring in Tessa Blanchard.
Of course
Deanna
not.
Peruzzo, her friend off social media. It's not my fault you don't know anyone in independent wrestling.
DP, yeah, Matt's boy.
Yeah, Matt's boy. Fucking fool. Anyways, we get a video package for Diamante, which is why it's crazy that Phil complains they don't do video packages for new characters, because we got a new video package for Diamante.
I liked it.
I thought it was a pretty cool video for her.
Yeah, I thought she did really well. She talked well. The video looked good. It made me think maybe she was going to get an upset, but then the match happened.
Yeah, I thought she could.
It was a good match still.
Yeah, this is a fine match.
It was good, and I thought
it was a fine match.
No.
The only problem I had with this is that on Dark, they legitimately showed a graphic saying this was a women's title match, and then they just like never talked about it during the show.
Was it a women's title match?
They fucking did in Dark.
No, they didn't.
Go. Yeah.
Show me it, dude. Go back.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Oh.
Find it.
Go back.
They like changed their mind.
Picture.
Oh.
Go to the episode and go. Literally, it's the last minute of the show. They start running
it's like
down.
all the episodes that you burped on and wanted me to send you timestamps. This is that. So send me the video.
All right.
But no, I don't know. The match that happened immediately afterwards, I don't know. Diamante, they're obviously trying to do something with her, and that's why I think that who Britt selects next week could just be a new member to the women's division, because they just want to build new faces. You see it here with Diamante. You're going to see it over the next couple of weeks as they're getting ready to run this tournament. So I don't know. What do you guys think of the match itself? Was it good? Was it not good?
I didn't like it.
Wow, AJ against a Hikaru Shida match
Didn't
for
like
once.
it.
I don't know, Diamante, like at one point she was like trying to throw a car sheet into the ropes and she just did a twirl and punched her in the face. Then there's another time whenever she like botched a suplex and I don't know, it seems sloppy to me.
Oh.
I thought it was fine. It was only 6 minutes. Like
It was short, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It wasn't very long, but between the match itself and the promo package, like it's cool to see Diamante getting something because, like I said, we're getting new women on the show regardless. Like no matter what, that's gonna happen. So focus on them and give us something. So, and it makes sense. They follow all of this up with the Women's Tag Cup rules. They're talking about how the tournament is going to be a random draw. All competitors are going to draw a color. Matching colors will become a team, and selections are final and cannot be appealed. So this is kind of a weird way to put all this together. They could have just had them like
It really is.
pick fucking straws or something for all this. Like it's kind of goofy, especially because we didn't see anyone draw any colors. Like because we immediately go backstage with Nyla Rose and Vicky, and they're like, "Oh, we got our colors," and fucking they're getting interviewed, and they're like, "Oh, you don't know that you have a partner?" And I was like, "Well, none of us fucking knew. No one saw anybody draw a color, but apparently, so."
That's weird. Yeah, they like, and then I don't know. I thought they were gonna talk more about the rules. They just put like a little graphic on
Them's
the
the
screen.
rules.
I just thought there'd be more. Brandy on Twitter made it seem like she was gonna like explain it. She was.
Brandy's does a
I don't
lot
know,
of
I
stuff
thought-
on Twitter that doesn't ever happen.
The promo, by the way, confused me because, like, does she have a partner with Cameron?
Oh,
or
absolutely. What do you mean?
Did she just?
she does.
Okay, I thought.
What is
I thought
confusing
she
about
was
this,
just
AJ?
saying-
Is that her
I don't
name?
know. I must have
Cameron?
misunderstood.
No,
the
that was her.
But-
That's her old name.
I was just, yeah, I guess that explains Girl High. But anyways, yeah, Cameron's here, guys.
Cameron.
I didn't,
Major
I didn't
signing.
even know if they said her name. I didn't hear her say
It's like
or introduce
Adrian
her.
or something.
Dude, yeah,
Oh.
She
I
did-
have it written down.
She did
Yeah,
say-
Ariane.
Well, I'm trying to put the picture that Phil sent me of the match on the stream, so everyone can see the fact that Phil is not a liar for once. There was a women's
No, I
title
feel
match
like you should-
scheduled.
I feel like it's weird to pick a color because then also
How many
doesn't it
colors do
say-
they have?
on the rules. Yeah, and doesn't it also say in the rules that your team can't be changed?
No.
that can't
Like
change.
so it should just be like who you work well with best, not by colors.
No, that wouldn't make it interesting because then you
Really?
get like strange bedfellow
Yeah,
teams.
I'm
like,
surprised they didn't do that with
Chicken,
Nyla. I thought that's where they were gonna go with Nyla. Will
Well, like men got to choose theirs, right? Like, are they going to be tag teams forever? or
forever?
is it
Yeah,
No,
this
man.
is it. They're blood brothers
That's-
now. This
that's
is the
blocked.
selection.
Okay. Well, then that's why I was like, what? Okay.
But the promo and introducing Cameron and Nyla's reaction and everything, as much as I don't love Cameron and I don't really love what's going on, I thought that was fine. Like it was well done almost, I would say, because like I said, I was anticipating Nyla to be paired up with someone that wouldn't be a good like fit. I maybe even Hikaru, something just stupid that's like, oh, we have to force two people who don't make sense together. These two kind of make sense together, but at the same time, Nyla's going to be carrying her. She's going to be like, oh my god, this annoying piece of shit. Like it's a story to it, and it will probably be what costs Nyla the title at some point. So this could be fun. I don't really have much hope for Ariane as a wrestler, as a wrestler, but hey, we didn't have a whole lot of hope for Nyla early, and we kind of are fans now. So
Yeah, but
we've seen Cameron for like 10
nah.
years, so you're right.
history of
Yeah.
sucking. I think now more that I think about it, I like it a little more because last week I made the prediction that it would be the Nightmare Sisters against Ford and Rose, which obviously isn't going to be the case. So if they do
What
pair
if the
up
Nightmare
like
Sisters are
established
still a
stars-
team in the tournament? Are we going to be mad that magically
Oh
happened?
yeah.
yeah, they
Yes.
have to pick a color like everybody else.
Yeah, but they will go together. Like
They'll be
No.
the
Tournament
and
is
they'll be
pretty
the only
odd.
ones that will see draw colors, so it's real. You know what I mean? They'll be the only
Yeah.
team. Every other team
yeah.
will just believe it.
But it will be interesting if they do have a whole bunch of teams with one established star and one new person, because then whoever the new people are do get elevated because they're working with established stars and
Yeah,
they're not
remember
just feeder teams to lose to the established stars. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's kind of
Yeah.
again what we talked about last time. They just keep listening to us, and I can't blame them. So
That's what they're supposed to do.
But I don't know. I think that I'm just excited. I think for the tournament itself. I'm not gonna lie, and that's because they haven't really announced the teams outside of this one. And this one, I'm not against. Like this one is it's not like I'm like, oh, this is the best women's tag team they could ever put together. But this is cool, and the fact that they're doing a tournament, like we joke about Tessa coming in. I don't think that they would have to sign her to a full-time deal to involve her in this tournament.
That's true. Yeah, they could do a Jeff Cobb thing.
Yeah, Jeff Cobb thing, or similar to what WWE did with the Cruiserweight Classic, brought plenty of people in who weren't signed to official deals. I would love to just see that, just to see her get a short run, let her run through most of your women's division, but let one woman at the end beat her. Like, something cool like that. But and again, that probably won't happen, but I'm excited for what's going on with the Women's Tag Cup until we really get it fleshed out, and then maybe I'll be disappointed. But I want to see new faces, so this is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just confused. Are they doing it on YouTube or on the TV? Because
I think they said they're doing it on Monday, so that would probably be YouTube.
Yeah, but it said it's going to be on YouTube, so I'm like, are they not even going to show it on actual TV?
Yeah, is that the drawing is on YouTube?
Yeah. And then they'll probably replay some of the moments, which is why I thought it was kind of weird to do this segment too. Like, we're doing the drawing on Monday, but this is the only one that happened early, or what? So,
it would have made more sense if she got teamed up with somebody that was established or people cared about. It was just kind of like, it was weird because at the end of the segment, I was like, who is that? Anybody guys know who that is?
Of course we do, 'cause we are true wrestling fans. We are true fans.
I just thought when I saw the red carpet being rolled out on the ring that they were like really going to talk about huge like competition.
No, that's for men's wrestling. That's for the men.
So I was like, oh, so it's just going to be MJF talking for ever.
The next segment was MJF's promo, which we started out the beginning of the show with, so I'm not going to run through the entire thing, but just him going over why he should be the champion, why he should take the title from Mox, why Mox is a horrible choice as champion, and I agree with all of it. AEW was supposed to be about the new guard and new faces, and instead we get Mox from up north coming over and taking the title right after Jericho from up north comes over and takes the title. It's time for a new guard. I'm behind MJF 2020. It's time for a new champion. Mox is not my champion. So, I loved this. This was beautiful.
I love this too. This was great. This was a wonderful promo.
If Mox can't step it up, he's going to get ripped apart by MJF every week.
Yeah. MJF, you're right. You're absolutely right. If ever there's a time for Mox to really bring his promo game, it's now, because MJF will eat him alive.
Yeah, he's probably the one person when Mox is really trying in the company that could go toe-to-toe with him verbally.
Yes, and it was great him talking about he's cosplaying as Stone Cold. Just hints to stuff like that. It was a really, really well done promo. It was easily the highlight of this entire show, which is cool because we had some months there where it was just MJF or just Britt Baker, who were or not MJF, Adam Page, I should say, who were the highlight moments for me and AJ at least. Now we're getting different people who are having highlight moments, but MJF is akin to steal the show at any point in time, and a promo like this, what do you expect? So.
I really liked it, not just for the content of what he said verbally, but the fact that they're actually giving me this program that we've been basically begging for a month.
Well, it just makes sense. It's like, dude, how do you book this guy as the number one contender and have yet to give him a title shot? And the fact that next week Darby can get a title shot as the number 5 contender, but MJF still hasn't earned a title shot. Tony Khan is a horrible owner.
I was so scared before he announced who he was going after. He just kept saying, like, there's a challenge, there's a champion, not my champion. I was so afraid it was Cody. I really was.
I wouldn't have minded
I was too.
A few weeks ago, it doesn't make any sense to be the number one contender.
I do agree with that.
Or number one ranked singles competitor, and then, I'm going to go for the TNT title.
Yeah, especially at this point, Cody's devalued the shit out of that title. They could have early on, but now it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what doesn't make sense to me is pulling the trigger on this now when it feels like they're still wrapped up in the Brian Cage, Taz, Darby Allin, all this blah blah blah
That's
stuff.
like how the
but you guys have more than one story, right?
I of course. It just seems like strange timing because now if they ever say in 2 weeks they seem to be building up to some like another super show. if they do Moxley against Cage again in some stupid stipulation like a cage match.
I just
I
think
can't get
honestly
into
that
it
Moxley and
because
Cage might be done. Like I don't know
Yeah.
if the main
I
event
hope it
really
is.
gave you guys that vibe, and it wasn't just the match, but pretty much this
Yeah.
promo.
No, I kind of
Pretty
got
much
it.
this promo gave
Yeah.
me that vibe. But yeah, I just feel like
Yeah.
for now that will be done, and Cage will do something else. What that is, I'm not.
like even for the Darby match, like you can do whatever you want to build it up, but now that there's an established program being
Yeah.
built towards it, am I gonna get into that match next week?
It'll
Probably
be
not.
it only. I won't be super into it. It'll be like the Warhorse match, honestly, where like I just want to see Darby come out looking great, and he probably will. But I don't have a whole lot of hope that he could become champion, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
But at the same time, that's why the match itself just seems silly to me. Like, it's very strange to just toss together. I imagine it'll just be interrupted by MJF. He'll destroy everyone. Well, he won't destroy everyone.
Or Cage.
Wardlow.
Another is Cage could fucking
He
run
could.
out. It seems like that storyline is a little more progressed in that sense. You could just have MJF promo for 800 weeks in a row until we get a response, because it seems like that's what we do.
Yeah. So, I don't know. MJF's promo was good. They ran down the card for next week talking about Cody and Matt Cardona versus John Silver and Alex Reynolds. Another MJF
I'm looking forward
update.
to that.
FTR, the Young Bucks, Hangman, and Omega versus the Dark Order in a 12-man tag team match, which is sure to be
Yep.
even more clusterfucky than the 10-man. But
For
it's a lot
sure.
of semi-talented athletes. I can't the fact that the Dark Order is going to have 6 people involved in this. I don't know. It'll be Brody, Colt. I don't know. It should be all right.
Brody, Colt, Stu, Uno,
That's where I'm at.
John Angel, and
John Angel.
Alex
No, Alex.
Reynolds.
Alex.
John
They're
Silver.
wrestling. They're wrestling Cody.
Yeah,
and
they're
Matt.
wrestling in a match.
So it's gonna be like
no. It's the guy with the chest tattoos. He's gonna
Oh.
maybe 10 will be
I don't
back.
know.
I don't know.
Five. That's
Five,
Maybe
yeah,
10 will be
5.
back.
And maybe 11. I don't know who those 6-man will be.
Yeah, who knows?
Some loose.
Maybe it'll be Anna
The
Jay.
guy who's gonna eat the pin.
So yeah, and like I said, Chris Jericho and OC with a special guest moderator. So maybe that'll be the fun part. Whoever the moderator is, that's a big seller for me there. But
Yeah.
good thing they added that title match at the end of the show, I guess, because the card doesn't look horrible, but it doesn't look as fun as this week's did. But on the bright side, the last time we thought a card looked bad, it was a great show. So who knows?
Yeah.
That's true.
This takes us to the main event. We get a bit of a pre-match where Darby doesn't come out. Mox is left all by himself. Taz is saying that Darby has left Mox all by himself. Ricky Starks beat the hell out of him last week, so he couldn't make it. And I thought they were saying the fact that people were speculating Darby was concussed last week. He wouldn't be able to make this show. So I was like, well, that's fucked up to hype up this match all night long and then have no Darby.
Right.
And sure enough, Darby just jumps off the stage to attack Cage and Starks. I had no idea this was coming. Out of nowhere, he just fucking flies off the stage, which was pretty cool. It was pretty badass. The match itself was
Yeah, I
fine.
love that.
It was really crazy. Darby wins with, like, what did he had? Thumbtacks glued to a skateboard.
Yeah, on the skateboard.
And jumps
That
off
was
into
crazy.
Ricky Starks'
His back was shredded,
Ah,
dude.
yeah.
and they were
It was-
in there, dude. Like, think about the force of shoving like, I don't know. It looked sick. Those thumbtacks were deep in his back. So
Wait, when Taz was backstage with Cage and Starks, why did when he started talking he said, "Wait, quick, Cage, get in front of me before people get mad." Why did he say
probably
that?
people on the internet talking about how it looks weird with Taz standing in front of Cage. It's just a social media thing, probably. We don't frequent wrestling Twitter enough during the week. We're the complainers, but we don't even complain about dumb shit like that. So if you catch yourself complaining on social media that Taz is standing in
Yeah.
front of Brian
Who
Cage,
stands in front of who?
like,
Yeah.
so
Oh.
yeah, the match though was fine. I was very shocked. I was like, when Taz is cutting the promo, I'm like, they have 11 minutes for this, like.
Yeah.
And that was before
Yeah.
Darby even came out. I was like, well, it makes a little sense with Darby out there. I was like, well, 11 minutes for all 4 of these guys. Like, they should have more time to each do what they need to do. Yeah, Ricky Starks is someone I like, but he didn't have a whole lot of time to show in this match. He just was the one who got
No.
dominated and killed in the end of it all.
Mhm.
But yeah,
And it
it's
felt,
weird because
it
we
felt
don't
like
feel like
they
this
were
is
aware-
going anywhere. Like, yeah, they closed
Yeah.
the show saying that Mox and Darby are going to fight each other, but that just feels random. It's a pairing that does make sense to an extent, but at the same time, still random. luckily they placed Darby on the top 5 for some fucking reason. He hasn't done shit in like 2 months, but
Yeah, and I felt like they knew they were running out of time too, because Ricky Starks was cutting a pretty decent promo, and they cut him off in such a way. I was like, "Ooh, someone's interrupting them, and he's going to be the replacement." And it was just fucking Cage's theme, and I was like, "Okay, so they're aware that they only have 10 minutes to tell the story."
They're like, "Hurry up, dude."
Yeah,
his promo wasn't bad though. You're right. It was cool that he got a chance to sort of promo for himself and not sound awful. He didn't sound great, but he didn't sound awful.
Yeah, he's decent on the mic. He's pretty good. Like I definitely like Ricky Starks in NWA, and I feel like if he just continues with what he was doing there in AEW, then he's gonna be just fine. Like he could definitely secure a spot on the show with this Brian Cage gimmick. And anyways, I also didn't care about this match too much until that spot happened at the end, and it became my favorite match on the card because it reminded me we're gonna watch GCW later.
Yeah, that was a sick moment, and just like that, we've been watching some game changers, so to see some shit like that in AEW, it's cool to see. I don't know, it was cool to see Darby back to his old ways, being able to do just more crazy shit, jumping off the stage, utilizing the skateboard. Like, Darby was cool tonight. We didn't have to have a weird Darby video package for him to be cool. He was just cool. So
I forgot about those for a little bit. About him.
That's what I mean. Like, he just looks way better now. Like, it's just night and day. Almost to like 2 weeks ago. So
those little weird things too, and it's like uncomfortable. Like, no, that doesn't resonate with most people. Maybe people should take creative control over what he does.
But
yeah, the beginning ones were good when he wasn't talking, but then I guess
those are cool. And he would cough, and his hand would be all bloody for no reason.
It was kind of creepy. And
it was kind of weird the way they were announcing the match for next week, though, because Jim Ross is like, these guys are staring each other down and don't even know they're gonna wrestle next week because they just announced the match. So it was all kind of weird. Phil, I'm surprised you didn't get to go in on Jim Ross at all.
I didn't even say one thing about Jim Ross, and I pitched about him the whole show. Man, I can't wait to see Jim Ross fucking commentate that 12-man match next week. It's going to be so
imagine
awesome.
Imagine if they do a 12-man match with a 4-man commentary booth. And that's something we should mention too. They ran a 4-man commentary booth, and it was kind of great. I'm not gonna say it was the best, but I kind of loved it. And for
except for when Tad's like, "Be right back," and then he left for a bit.
And he did come back. I was like shocked to hear his voice again when he came back. I was like, I thought you were just gonna go manage, but.
Yeah, just to clarify my JR hate, I'm just annoyed when he calls out people for not abiding by the religious laws of the tag rules, and then he started bitching
in
during.
Place for a reason, Phil.
Dude, he started bitching during the
hilarious.
tornado tag match. Don't even know who the legal.
Taz was like, "It's a tornado match."
Was like, "It's a tornado tag."
But
Mr. fucking wrestling purist.
But it was. I'm not gonna lie. If you told me that they were gonna do a 4-man commentary booth, I would be like, "Really? I don't know." But it sounded really good. Each guy had good takes and brought something a little bit different to the table. It's weird to imagine, but yeah, they each brought something a little different and a different perspective. And it was probably a more entertaining commentary booth with all 4 than with any iteration of the 3. And again, I might be in the minority in that in terms of our listeners and stuff. I know that you guys kind of agree, but I don't know. I really liked the commentary booth, and if you had told me they were going to do that before, I'd be like, that sounds nuts. But they have 4 really great commentators, so why not use them?
And I like that Taz is a heel. He's not overly heel either, but he's heel.
In commentary, it's needed. It helps add that other dynamic voice to what you're watching and what's going on. So and like you said, it's not over the top. It's not to just loving everything every heel does, and still explaining stuff in a way. Like when MJF gave his promo, he was like, "Man, besides Brian Cage and Ricky Starks, he's the one guy I'd want to see as champion." And it's just consistency with stuff like that is cool. So it's funny. We get to the end of Dynamite and we're not hating it as much as you guys did at the beginning of the show. It was an okay show. They definitely did all right, and that's how it is with Dynamite. They're gonna get the filler shows, and then you're gonna get the shows like last week where everything seems crazy. I'm amazed that we got a debut this week, and we don't have that debut hype like we usually get. But
Yeah.
that's the Zack Ryder effect. Phil, you want to talk about Dark, or are we wrapping up the show?
There was a 3-team main event. It was pretty good. Santana and Ortiz got a much-needed victory. Seems like those guys haven't really won in forever. Aside from that, babe, do you remember anything from Dark that you cared about?
Abaddon versus
Yeah.
Skylar Moore. That was a pretty good match.
Yeah, that was a fine match. Abaddon did a bunch of spooky shit, killed Skylar Moore, and beat her.
Who do you think Skylar Moore will team with in the tournament?
I don't know. It depends on what color she picks.
She'll team with Kenzie Page.
Oh, dang.
Yo,
okay.
But hey, I'm thinking of this now. Now that we have the random pairings, people don't get to select their partners. I do want to see Abaddon and Hikaru Shida team up. That'd be pretty cool.
In this kind of
format.
Yeah, free shit, man.
Situation, yeah, it would be interesting.
One other thing is Will Hobbs and Sean Dean fought.
Some guys.
They won?
They obviously lost.
Who did they face?
No, it wasn't FTR. The Initiative fought FTR. They fought some team they very obviously weren't going to win. But Will Hobbs, man, they really put him over, man. He didn't get into the match until
finally
the hot
after
tag.
he got Superman punched by Orange Cassidy like a month ago.
It was SCU, yeah.
It was Christopher.
No,
They
it
were in the
wasn't
main
SCU.
event.
Fuck me, man. They were in the main event.
Whatever.
These real diehard Dark fans.
I really love Will Hobbs. He's got an interesting look. He's different from everybody else. He's got a cool hashtag, willpower.
Oh
That
my
is pretty
god,
cool,
this
man.
guy. Phil is such a mark.
Dude, he's a big, strong dude.
Willpower.
His name is
That is a
and
cool
hashtag
hashtag.
willpower.
Yes, on his little butt.
No, he's a big guy. It's on his ass. Not on his little butt, his ass.
On his underwear thing that they wear.
It's Speedo.
Willpower.
Trunks. That's the.
Okay, but then I also liked how Brandon